Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me, astrologer Patrick Arundell, for your in-depth November horoscope video for the Sun or the Ascendant. Before I begin, I'd like to briefly tell you about my year 2021 personal horoscope special package. This gives you a forecast and a character analysis. But also, if you order now in 2020, I'll give you the rest of this year free. Get 30% off this package based on your time, date and place of birth. It's totally individual to you and will give you searing insights into what you can expect in the months ahead. Please see beneath this video to click on the link to order. Hello Pisces and welcome to your monthly horoscope for November for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to this channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. This month begins with the Sun in your sister water sign of Scorpio. For you, this is about expansion. It's about optimism. It is about the potential to travel, which I know in this current COVID climate is not necessarily so easy to do. It's also about higher education. It's about your principles, your philosophies. So it's very much to do with adventurism, being more independent-minded. So a real sense of excitement as you come into this month. Now you have Uranus, the planet of the unexpected, in your sector of everyday thinking, the third house, and the two are directly opposite to one another as November begins. So this does point towards some unexpected developments. Perhaps you're going to be offered the opportunity to do something last minute. It's certainly not going to be dull, but it may create quite a lot of electric energy. And if you do like things to be a little bit more constant, that could be somewhat unsettling. But I think having this burst of enthusiasm, and even if it does throw up some different options for you, which do provide somewhat of a challenge to decide which one to plump for, it's better than just going along without any. So some excitement at the start of this month. Now, of course, Mercury, the planet of communication, had been in this 9th house too, through to the 26th of October. But because it went into a retrograde on the 14th, previously into shadow on the 27th of September, its transit into the sign of Libra at the end of October saw it inverting. So the retrograde was taking it further back into the air sign of Libra. But on the 2nd of this month, that retrograde ends. And any Mercury retrograde that comes to an end is one that I think we can all agree we will celebrate. But of course, Mercury retrogrades do have gifts if we seize them. So I wonder if you've been thinking very carefully about a business proposition, about a financial issue, doing some deep diving when it comes to your planning and perhaps calibrating in your mind what your different options could be. But if you are thinking about your longer term future and being able to finance a more idealistic style of life is part of the equation, because Mercury and Saturn are in conflict the first 10 days of November, it could be that you're going to have a little bit of a slow assimilation of what the reality is. And it may feel at first that you're being held back in some kind of way, which is understandable. I don't think it's a good time at the start of November to think about entering into any kind of collective. So if you've got a group of people who've got a business idea, that's something I would be a little bit doubtful for if it's right at the start of this month. However, Mercury in this area certainly is going to help you to think more realistically. And you also have Venus here, which actually can be very sensual and very passionate. So is there going to be someone in your friendship circle that you're going to encounter this month, or you already know about, that you're drawn to in a very powerful way? But it could create some complications because Venus clashes with the posse in Capricorn from the 9th through to the 20th. And therefore, even if there is something that seems very alluring or someone that seems very alluring, or it's a financial opportunity that seems to have real prospects too, I want you to really be thinking very seriously if it fits your moral compass, if you're comfortable with it, and if it would work for the longer term. If an opportunity comes up for romance or for money that doesn't quite fit your standards, I would just be aware of that. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to make your own decisions. Now, on the 11th, Mercury actually moves its way back into Scorpio, which is brilliant for you, because I think if you have got a bit bogged down and you have been worrying about the financial side of something or about the intimate implications of being very close to someone, here Mercury's moving back into freedom. Yes, it's deep diving in Scorpio, but for you, it gives you a sense of liberation, because now you can flex, you can just take a breather. It's not quite so intense and heavy. Now, on the 14th, Mars ends a retrograde which began on the 9th of September. And if you think back to the 27th of July, Mars has been in conflict since that group with that group of planets in Capricorn ever since. So for you, that again, that's this financial thing of how do you find a way forwards where you stay true to your values, you go for the main chance in terms of satisfying your physical needs. Why not? You're a human being. You want to eat nice food. You want to enjoy the good things in life. But at the same time, there's that other higher side of your nature that you need to stay in tune with. Now, this is where you really have a wonderful opportunity this month, perhaps above all the other zodiac signs, Pisces, because your two co-rulers of Neptune and Jupiter have been forging an awesome alliance for some months, and they come together to support the new moon, which occurs on the 15th in Scorpio, in a magnificent way. And in fact, in the week before, they're actually very supportive to the sun's passage through Scorpio. What does this mean? Jupiter's in your sector of friendship. We know Jupiter's not at its best in Capricorn, it's in full, but generally for you, this can be a time to think a little bit more positively, because I think Saturn and Pluto have probably taken all the people out of the equation that you perhaps once considered important, because at the end of the day, Pluto is the planet of what passes from our lives. It's not just about those deep machinations and politics. It is about where we are transforming ourselves. Saturn's about limitation. So if there are friendships that have turned out to be fair weather ones, or you've changed your hopes for the future in some significant way, which has pulled you away from a circle that wasn't so good for you, that would make sense. So what you're getting now with Neptune and Jupiter is the chance to bring in new energy, new people, but you can become much more of a driving force with this. And I think your values are going to be very important to this. And if it is someone who shares your love of exploring, whether it's personal development, whether it's spirituality, whether it's travel, whether it's architecture, culture, the arts, the theatre, some of these things are really limited at the moment, I know. But because of Neptune and Jupiter's association with the new moon, you have a chance to surf all of that with these new energies, or the people who've survived, the truly loyal people, the people who are truly good for you. They're going to be very much in your situation right through to the middle of December. And if we do see an improvement in COVID in some kind of way, and let's pray to God we do, I feel that you will want to escape somehow, do something different, be spontaneous, even if it means just going out for a couple of afternoons into nature and really getting some fresh air around your face and feeling freer. That can be very ennobling for you. But it's interesting because on the 21st, Venus moves into your 9th house, Scorpio. So that's asking you to really search for truth in your relationships. But it also suggests if you're single, someone very different to you can come into your world. And if someone is different in the sense they have different interests, I actually think that's irrelevant in relationships. What's really important is that we have very similar values. And if those values are well aligned, the other things actually become very uplifting because they enhance our experience of life. We hear new sounds, we eat new food, we visit places we'd never thought to visit before. We can get to know fresh ways of being. That's all very uplifting. Just because one person likes, say, football and the other person likes handicrafts is not a reason not to take something forwards. So just be mindful of that. But the sun does rise to the very top of your chart also on the 21st into the sign of Sagittarius. And this is about your success. It's about your goals and ambitions in a physical sense. And it's also about your role in life. So I think travel could be linked to work, certainly towards the end of this month. Now on the 29th, Neptune ends a retrograde, which began on the 23rd of June. If it's right on top of any critical point in your natal chart, your sun, or if it's on the moon, if you were a new moon baby and you have the moon and the sun in Pisces, or you have Venus or Mercury close to Neptune, oh my, that may have caused some real low energy, depletion of spirit, really found it difficult to keep going. So Neptune going forwards is something to really celebrate. And then the 30th, we have the annular lunar eclipse in the sign of Gemini, where of course we have the North Node. The North Node is going to be there through to early 22. If you're thinking of moving, or you're wanting to grow your emotional awareness, or that sense of nurturing and security in your world, or add to your clan if you have a family, or if you're wanting to have a family, this energy of the North Node is going to be very helpful to you. So this lunation is going to feed into that narrative. This is about balancing your ambitions with your feelings. You are a very feeling sign, but sometimes you can get very overwhelmed. And you can go between the two polarities of feeling very emotional or actually very detached and very cool. And I think that this particular lunation is asking you to find that midpoint where you can embrace your sensitivity, kindness, compassion. Often you have oodles of them, not to the point of being too sacrificing for others, because that depletes your emotional center. So finding the things you feel ambitious about, but making it work for you, the individual, your home life, your family, and having downtime. That's the critical challenge as you come to the end of this month, that you're going to take into the first 2 weeks of next month. But I think the high point of this month is undoubtedly a new moon, which is embracing both your ruling planets. We have 3 planets going forwards this month. There's a lot to take from this month. And just be conscious that if you still are feeling the pain of some transitions of people who are no longer in your world, it's because you're clearing the space for new people, new opportunities, new wonderment to come into your situation before the end of this year. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Pisces. Do take care, stay safe, good luck, and goodbye for now.